seen Keith. He was out swimming.
Heard the Wee Beasties there with Alcohol and Drug Abuse Lake. You're listening to the Punk Rock Demonstration. I'm Jack. My website is punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. You're listening to the Punk Rock Demonstration radio show that comes on every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time on the same website, punkrockdemo.com. And the show repeats on Tuesdays. The same show, same Monday show. That happens 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays. So I've got lots of punk rock here. It's been very hot. The weather's been flapping back and forth between heat wave and, I guess, normal temperatures or something. And then we've got like high humidity one day and rain. And then the next day will be really dry and hot. And then it'll be nice. Typical California weather, it sounds like. Seems every year we forget how the seasons work. And everyone freaks out that it's like really hot and it's like unusually hot or something like that. But the plants know, because every year at a particular time, the flowers will stop flowering or they'll start flowering. In my case, I've got chives that are starting to flower. They always flower at about the same time. And then peppers get ripe and ready to harvest, but they're not quite ready yet, so that means it's not quite fall to them. Humans haven't seemed to develop that skill. Plants are interesting creatures. Anyways, let's continue with some more punk rock here in the Punk Rock Demonstration. We've got lots to talk about and lots of new music that I'll be playing a little bit later. Let's continue with D-Mob now. The song's called We're No Fools.
Yeah, we're living in time when the alarm bells chime and the government moves us all through fear and hate. Don't you trust no one is what they preach. Try to be like us is what they teach. This is typical propaganda of a 90s state. Who you fighting for? Are you fighting for me? What you fighting for? Don't you fight for me? In the blood of the innocents we drown. We're not fools. We're not fools. We're not fools. We're not fools. In charge, got eagles that are large and they really don't care about you or me. They're leading us up the garden path. Do the best for us, don't you make me laugh. Everything they want for free. Who you fighting for? Don't you fight for me? What you fighting for? Don't you fight for me? In the blood of the innocents we drown. We're not fools. We're not fools.
wasn't designed for me. No room to move, too dark to see. I don't know why I've been locked in and left to rot like shedded skin. I search for reasons still unknown why I'm left to die alone. A faded figure in a lucid dream, a broken link between man and machine. I've no idea how I got here, I can't find my way out. I can't tell time, but time tells me my time is running out. If there's no way in, there's no way out. No way in, no way out. No way in, no way out. No way in, no way out. Program reset, open eyes. Facial record analyze. Behavior pattern data send. Machine made man, machine again. I've no idea how I got here, I can't find my way out. I can't tell time, but time tells me my time is running out. If there's no way in, there's no way out. No way in, 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 no way out. No way in,
That was Sharky's Machine with Mail Bomb, and I heard on the radio, the news on the radio, that this post office in Torrance was covered with asbestos or something like that, and all the mail that was in the post office was covered with asbestos, or contaminated with asbestos. I think that's a better word, contaminated. And they had to shut down the post office since either June or July of 2025 and destroy all the mail that went through that post office. But I wonder how much mail went through before they discovered that it was contaminated with asbestos. So people could have been receiving poison mail for a while before they discovered that. Hopefully I haven't received any packages or mail from Torrance, because that might be some toxic mail there. But they destroyed all the mail that came from that Torrance station. If you expected mail from Torrance, you won't be receiving it, is what I heard. And they've got no idea on when that thing is going to get cleaned up and reopened. It's 2025 and still have those kinds of problems. Anyways, before Sharky's Machine, we heard The Freeze with Machine Made Man, and some Lion's Law with Sewer Rats, Complete Control with We Were Dead before Lion's Law, haven't heard that song in a really long time, and Dog's Flesh with their newest song, I believe newest song, it was new at the time I got it, or it's the newest one that I have of Dog's Flesh. That song's called March of the Damned. And Undead was in town like 2 weeks ago, but unfortunately they let me know on the day they were in town and I couldn't prepare, so didn't get to see them, unfortunately. But here's a song from the Undead. This song by them is called Ride in the Graves.
When the sun is up, beach bums are riding the waves. When the moon comes out, we go riding the graves. Sleeping in our coffin till way past noon, 'cause we have our fun by the light of the moon. When the evening comes, we'll be riding the graves. You can get your headstone from out of the old churchyard. I'm gonna grab a slab right out of our own backyard. Riding coffin style as I wait for the swell, a romantic shower at the Bates Motel. When the evening comes, we'll be riding the graves. Boneyard. Walk the boy. Coffin style. Mama on the beach, no one's gonna pay to play. Mommy's come unraveled as he's twisting the night away. First rays of sun are coming up too soon, 'cause we have our fun by the light of the moon. When the evening comes, we'll be riding the graves. Draw the curtains in the hearse as we drive away, till we rise again at the end of the day. When the evening comes, we'll be riding the graves. Sleeping in our coffin till way past noon, 'cause we have our fun by the light of the moon. When the evening comes, everything will be alright.
guess we'll have to wait and see. If the time was yesterday, but today is gonna be okay. Tomorrow's never far away. If the time was yesterday, then yesterday still seems okay to me. I guess we'll have to wait and see. If the time was yesterday, but today is gonna be okay. Tomorrow's never far away.
Hanging around in Kenmore Square, riding a 40 in my hair. Don't smoke pot and I don't drink beer. I'm running home to mommy dear. I go good, don't be stupid. I go good, don't come near me. I go good, don't be stupid. Look it up in the dictionary.
Hey, nice stew. Where'd you get the whiffle?
I'm like him and he's like me.
Heard some Singaya there with Burn It Down, and Dogmatics with Hardcore Rules before Singaya, Autogram with Yesterday before the Dogmatics, Psycho Punch with Stranded before Autogram, and Defiance with Fall Into Line before Psycho Punch. By the way, you can find all the playlists for all these shows by going to punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. Just click on the archive and find the show number or show date. This is September 8th, 2025, or 10/16. Let's continue now with Mahones. This song's called Rise Again.
early morning rays. Best night of sleep I had had in days. Hopped out of bed, looked at my face, screamed in shock, and what was not in place, a void had opened up right above my lips. Like peace, my flame, I started to flip. The thing that allowed me to breathe in fresh air was completely gone, it was no longer there. Spending all your time trying to be so debonair. Life would be so easy if you just didn't care. Make the right impression, you're in a rat race. You'd cut off your nose just to spite your face. Google's nose. Google's nose. Google's nose. Google's nose. I thought to myself, that fucking nose, he's taken off, stolen some of my clothes. I need to track him down before he gets too far, leaving me with an embarrassing scar. So I went outside, it was there in the news, a headline in the paper, my very first clue. My nose has been spotted, wearing my cape, boarding a carriage, making his escape. Spending all your time trying to be a big shot. Life is too short, appreciate what you've got. You're rushing here and there, haste makes waste. You cut off your nose just to spite your face. Google's nose. Google's nose. Google's nose. Google's nose. Hailed a cab and without a pause, I yelled at the driver, follow the stars! He looked at me strange, so I gave him some dough. With that we looked forward, started to go. It turns out my nose was impersonating me, buying fancy clothing, booze and jewelry. My reputation was on the line. I had to stop that proboscis and his crimes. I found my nose at work, insulting my boss. So I got him in a bear hug and I started to cuss. Listen, motherfucker, this nonsense will stop. Get back on my face, take a place in your spot. My nose struggled and tried to get away. So I punched him in the nose and blood started to spray. Now defeated, passively, he cried, why on earth would you do this to me? Spending all your time trying to play to the herd. You think that the story of my nose is absurd? Don't do nothing special, don't step out of place. You cut off your nose just to spite your face! Google's nose! 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 Google's nose!
And the Grammy goes to...
We got
stand my ground. Circle me in secrecy and I clench my fists. You're back off and disappearing. I walk away. I know that you're out there somewhere. Nowhere I go. I know that you'll be there waiting. Nowhere I go. We from home to Boomtown. Nowhere I go. Crosses all on my soul. Nowhere I go. My home. Live in fear, but never smile in victory. So I hold my ground. Some over, never fall out. Less men have tried, found themselves nailed to a wall. There's no match. Tower of pride, never fall. And where I go, I know that you'll be there waiting. And where I go, we're from home to Boomtown. And where I go, crosses all on my soul. And where I go, my home.
Fighting with something. He's constantly reacting against something. How can there be freedom in reaction?
Stop dreaming of enough, Russell will against your mind. Look out for each other, we will stand side by side. Kill the hope inside, make a change in the way you live. Consciously living, love, respect, forgive. So, let's be the change we wanna see. Free of desire, be the freedom you admire. Wanna change the world, gotta stop from me. So, let's be the change we wanna see. Be the change you wanna see. Be the change you wanna see. Be the change you wanna see. Be the change.
Be the change you wanna see.
Heard Hard Knocks there with Be the Change, and some Antagonizers ATL with Everywhere I Go, Dad Brains with Daditude before Antagonizers ATL, and Sacripolitical with Gogol's Nose. Can't wait until the next year. I've got lots of problems that I would like to just have disappear, like DMV points on my record that I'm not quite sure if they should be there, but the thing is, if you're trying to fix your DMV record, you have to pay to see your record before you can fix it, because you won't know what to fix until you see your record, and you got to pay to see the record, and then once you find the problem with the record, then you have to pay to get it fixed. And before you pay to get it fixed, you have to do research and get documentation that this is incorrect, which you have to pay for, and it's not guaranteed that it'll be removed because it's got a long review process and just all this nonsense. So this year needs to be over, and hopefully those points fall off the record and I don't have to deal with it, except that I think they fall off in 3 years, but they still keep your record for like 10 years. Those points, just because they fall off in the 3 years, doesn't mean that they don't count towards the 5 year and the 7 year and the whatever year they count as towards your total allocation within like a 7-year period or some nonsense like that. So I guess eventually I should get it fixed, but at the same time I don't feel like giving the DMV more money, and complete waste of time, waste of money, especially when it's possibly a mistake on their end, or a mistake that happened somewhere and ended up at the DMV as a mistake. So yes, this year needs to end, and then hopefully those points will roll off and then not have to deal with that nonsense. Anyways, let's continue some more punk rock instead of my personal problems. Let's continue with Violent Affair. This song's called Self-Destruct.
It was the germ of squalor, of hopelessness, of a loss of faith. For the faithless, the hopeless, the misery-laden, there is time, ample time, to engage in one of the other pursuits of men. They begin to destroy themselves.
in the alleyway. Have to hide, have to run. If you know what's good, then you get out of my way. When the cops come a looking and you gotta sum me up. Just don't get caught. When you're high on the streets, you know you're all alone. Just don't get caught. When you're stealing from others and you know you're on your own. Just don't get caught. When you're having fun and you break the law. Just don't get caught. Just don't get caught. Just don't get caught. Just don't get caught. Fucking pig, gonna stick me in a pig. Everything you are and everything you say is something when you got a gun pointed at your face. Black and white, it's all the same. We all believe we're all human. No time for mistakes. You best get away. When the cops come and looking at you, gotta sum me up. Just don't get caught. When you're high on the streets, you know you're all alone. Just don't get caught. When you're stealing from others and you make it on your own. Just don't get caught. When you're having fun and you break the law. Just don't get caught. Just don't get caught. Just don't get caught. Just don't get caught.
I could have caught him doing it. I'd have given anything to catch that asshole doing it. It'd have been worth him doing it, just so I could have caught him doing it. What a fucker.
We've moment in history, just a reign of misery. Shallow words, hypocrisy, arrogant monopoly. Messed up hair from Bullingdon, schoolboy grin, lots of fun. Smoke and mirrors, veil of lies, substitute for sad goodbyes. No shame for your legacy, on a journey of jealousy. However did it get to this? Promise sealed with a kiss. Big moment in history, just a reign of misery. Shallow words, hypocrisy, arrogant monopoly. Do what I say, not what I do. Does that rule apply to you? Control the media, the press. Swerve a problem, don't address. Empathy, you got nothing. Vultures waiting in the wings. Think we're blind and cannot see. Apocalypse, emergency. Big moment in history, just a reign of misery. Shallow words, hypocrisy, arrogant monopoly. Moment in history, just a reign of misery. Shallow words, hypocrisy, arrogant monopoly. Brief moment in history, just a reign of misery. Shallow words, hypocrisy, arrogant monopoly. trouble in paradise. Some fucking leadership might be nice. The left panders, but they take no action. The right hits you with another distraction. Both sides paid for by the NRA. It isn't safe to walk these streets at night without a loaded weapon on your side, waiting for the chance to take a life, dreaming about being the good guy.
Playing 3 songs off this Damnation's Damn It Records compilation, the second batch of September 2025. That song you just heard was by Drowning Leo. That song's called The Good Guy. Voodoo Love Gods before Drowning Leo with Jet Electro, and Red Letter Day with 0344. Those 3 songs off this Damnation's second batch of the Damn It Records compilation. And before that we heard Informal Society with Don't Get Caught. And we've started playing new music now, so I'm going to continue with that. By the way, you can send songs if you're a band by going to punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. Hopefully it sounds like punk rock, because if it doesn't, then I'm not going to play it. Maybe I'll play it, but it's got to be like really borderline punk rock, which I have an example of a little bit later. But let's play some, not quite sure if it qualifies as punk rock here, but the song's from a Finnish band, Helsinki, Finland. This band's called Morket, with a song called Dissociato.
Kaikki maailma
got you some paper, love letters, the glass past frozen in time, love letters, where the heart is, not in the body, not in the mind. It's a box of dirt. Stand and watch our love. Sad memories like flowers. We walk away and separate as we hold like an olden days. Body of our love, box of dirt. Body of our love, box of dirt. Body of our love, box of dirt. Let's run,
There's someone who will love what you do, put your back into you. Oh, follow through. There's someone who, make no mistake, you will bend and you'll break. There's so much in your way. Pick it up. It seems you're late. Time is the enemy, so is hate. And when they'll build you back up again, you'll see there's someone who will love what you do, put your back into you. Oh, follow through. There's someone who'll make no mistake, you will bend and you'll break. There's too much in your way. No. Come on, you know I'm not wrong. When you think what you thought you should think, the moment's gone. And then they'll build you back up again. You'll see there's someone who will love what you do, put your back into you. Oh, follow through. There's someone who'll make no mistake, you will bend and you'll break. There's so much in your way. I know. Pretend you're bringing it up again. It's when you set fire to your friends. There's someone who will love what you do, put your back into you. Oh, follow through. There's someone who'll make no mistake, you will bend and you break. 'Cause there's someone who will love what you do, put your back into you. Oh, follow through. There's someone who'll make no mistake, you will bend and you'll break. God, get out of your way.
Heard the Flying Beats there with There's Somebody Who Will Love What You Do. Very true there. Thielen with Dorf Matazzi. Then Nightcrawler with Death by Horse, that band from Sweden, and Whipping Boy with Nevermore before Nightcrawler. And here's another song, new song here for you on the Punk Rock Demonstration Radio Show. Here's Appaloosa. The song's called Get It Together, Kid.
Your time.
such a little lover. I need it now. Na 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 now. I'm gonna play a new song, so grab your tambourine. I'm gonna tell you, baby, I need it now. Na 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 now. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. I think you know I'm thinking. Let's get together soon. Like sugar, sugar, baby. I need it now. Na 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 now. I'm gonna play a new song, so grab your tambourine. I'm gonna tell you, baby, I need it now. Na 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 now. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. And if I go a million places, I'd never get that far. I think it's really crazy. You're such a rock and roll star. Continue where you're going, and it's alright with me. You're such a little lover. I need it now. Na 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 now. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now.
I got the t-shirt, lost and rambling, but never done that, but never wanted to. Searching for something, won't find it. It only shows up when you least expect it to. Expect it to. I used to sit on the same bar stool with my friends lonely and blue. I don't see them anymore now thanks to you. The souvenir shirt is down in memory. Place it up when I won't be back too soon. My bad luck ended when I met you. Once I stopped searching, I stumbled into you. Into you. I used to sit on the same bar stool with my friends lonely and blue. I don't see them anymore now thanks to you. And sadness I won't be drinking soon. My broken heart has just been glued. I'm a mended man now thanks to you. I used to sit on the same bar stool with my friends lonely and blue. I don't see them anymore now thanks to you. And sadness I won't be drinking soon.
So there's an example of a borderline punk song that I've been talking about earlier. That was NVM, ILY. Not quite sure how to pronounce that band name, but the name of the song was called Before You Leave. Ambulance with Flowers before NVM Illy. And then her Dead End Kids before Ambulance with Soviet Frust. Tad Overbaugh with Mended Man before the Dead End Kids. And the Glimmer Stars with I Need It Now. Got one more segment of punk rock here before I end off the show here called Punk Rock Demonstration. Show again every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time over at punkrockdemo.com. And then the repeat of that show on Tuesdays from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Pacific Time. I'm going to continue with a band that sent over their stuff but kind of incorrectly submitted, and I can't seem to get a hold of them because their email doesn't work, or what I think their email is doesn't work. But here's a song by the Geriatric Ward. Good stuff. The song's called No Papers, No Voice.
Buses rolling out in the dead of night. Silence torn apart under flashing lights. Cold steel hands at the border gates. Dreams shut down by a wall of hate. Your papers, no voice. They say you can't stay. I send you out and take you away.
you call love, I call